If you watch this channel over the years, you would know that there is a lot of bugs in Mythic Plus. We have been submitted all sorts, mostly because they contribute to groups disbanding. That's how it all gets started. These things are obviously going to cause problems in terms of the timer, and we have definitely seen a number of them over the years. But the one I'm going to show you today is the worst, the most absurd, the craziest one. Like, it's not even a normal bug. This is so bizarre. You can't imagine this actually happening in the video game. So in order to punctuate that, I'm going to show you a bit of a greatest hits of all the ones we have seen, and then you're going to see the one we are talking about today, and you guys can tell me which one you think is actually the worst out of all of these. All right, here's the first one. If you guys have never seen this caused absolute chaos back in the day. Imagine trying to Hearth in the middle of a Mythic Plus and your belt grows larger, kind of like Pinocchio's nose. Everybody knows you're a lever. They can see you Hearth from a mile away. Your belt's a dead giveaway. This one was absolutely awful. One of the worst ones ever, I would imagine. This was actually a common bug in Halls of Atonement. The beams would just stop working. Like, they would just like randomly flip their direction. Basically, this is like a mechanic that, you know, it's a very limited space and you're supposed to stand in a certain spot, and you see them like randomly pivot at that point and two people get hit even though they're not in them, and then like ultimately just the visual doesn't match up anymore, so we're all getting hit. This was a really bad one and it caused a disband in this key many times. Here's one we recently featured on the channel from the previous season where they actually killed one of the 3 bosses here and only 2 of them respawned. That one is still dead. Like, absolutely ridiculous. This was like a very pervasive bug in the fact that people can't actually even like reset. The bosses aren't actually dead. They didn't properly reset either, so it's like you can't do either. Even if you pulled them and killed them here, they will not give you credit for killing them. It would actually reset again, and then you'd have to kill them a 3rd time. Now, this is the other side, one of my favorite dungeons. I had done this boss a million times, and I have never seen this occur. This bug is one that probably should have wiped us and disbanded this key, and should have taken this key from an upgrade to a, you know, disband basically, but luckily because Blood DK solo power, I'm able to finish it. As you see, there's this like purple orb just raining death upon us. It is destroying our group, and it is gonna pretty much kill every single player. This is called like Cosmic Cloud or something like that. This is a bug, and apparently the bug is that it's registering as nobody is on this platform. Basically, if you're like not here in time when the boss respawns and nobody is in melee range of him, he is supposed to spawn this mechanic to basically wipe you as you get back, and everybody's here on time. The only person is the Demon Hunter who's dead, who we just battle res. Totally not abnormal situation here at all. But I had never actually seen this before in all these years, and we do actually still upgrade the key, which is crazy. And then the most memorable bug came when I was trying to solo dungeons in Shadowlands, and I have a second character in here because I'm under the impression that this boss cannot be soloed, because you're going to see a mechanic here that he's going to do that takes you down to like another phase type mechanic. Usually whenever you have a mechanic like that, that means the boss cannot be soloed, and as such he'll just reset. So I'm trying to like brainstorm a way to use both characters to my advantage, and in so doing I encountered the craziest bug I've ever seen with an actual mechanic in Mythic Plus. Here it comes right now. It's called Dark Exile. This is the mechanic that takes you downstairs, and usually when this happens, the boss would reset. You even see the boss like run to the front of the platform like he is going to reset, but if you can't tell on the screen, the boss still has 95% health, and we are still down here. Normally if it would like reset, you would just die instantly, and then you would end up back on the platform. That didn't happen, so we like basically killed ourselves to see exactly what's going on, and we're back after wiping, and the boss is still out of combat at 94.8%. And we're able to just go right back into the fight, but he immediately sends me back down. Some kind of logic loop here or something like that, where it's like, oh no, you should be down here right now, but the boss refuses to reset, so I just keep getting sent back down every single time. The boss is still here at 94.7%, and it's just going to instantly send me back down again over and over and over and over again. But the boss doesn't reset, so I am able to slowly chip away its 881k health with just dots and stuff, throw stuff on the ground, and I do eventually solo a boss that is not soloable. I mean, technically it's not solo because I have the second character in here, but it's not even in combat. Very strange. This is definitely the strangest like mechanical based bug I've ever seen, and I still have no idea how or why this actually occurred. But today I'm going to show you the strangest bug I have ever viewed in World of Warcraft. Like, not specifically Mythic Plus or any one piece of content. This is a World World of Warcraft bug. This is something else entirely, and this is going to make Mythic Plus impossible. If this happens in most groups, it's going to make Mythic Plus actually just totally impossible. I'm going to show this beginning part again, and I want you to think about it, what you're seeing on the screen. Then I'm going to read the email. So if you like, pause it right here and take a look at what the screen is showing you, and you may immediately know what the bug is and how it's proliferating. He says, we were fighting at the exact spot where you can see the paladin stand. So where he is on the screen right now, he DCs and dies there. When rezzing him after he came back from disconnecting, his position would always be there and he couldn't heal, buff, or otherwise interact with him at all. He pulled all mobs in the instance onward like this, and they came out of nowhere and descended upon us like the apocalypse. The tank begins tanking, but he is not present. His character model is still where he stood when he DC'd, and we can only see his actual ground AoE abilities. Otherwise, we are completely oblivious to what he is doing, and he is struggling without anybody able to heal him at all. Shout out to Diverbot, we're back though, huh, man? The German. This is the same guy who sent the key of the Bracken Fellhole last time, right? Now, this key is over at this point, 26 deaths on the 10, and there's only 50 seconds left. But if this happened in the beginning of the key, it's over. There's no way you can do anything about this. And from what I can tell is the reason they can't heal him or buff him is because they're up there fighting the trash, and he is totally desynced. Like, his character's physical location in regards to his range check is back there. So they're out of range of him, so that's why they can't heal him. But in terms of his screen, he's up here fighting. Like, look, you can see the consecrate, the hammers, all this stuff going on. Watch the enemies get pulled. He charges and you can see the like actual charger animation. He charges in, aggroes the mobs, and then he's kind of like just randomly like kiting them back, I guess. It looks kind of scary because it looks like these guys have threat. If you are not paying attention, and probably especially at the time of this happening, a lot of people probably thought they actually just had threat and that they were going to die and maybe start panicking. But you can see his health. I think that's because we get a little closer to him. So like this add-on is able to view his actual health at one point. But before that, you know, it's hard to tell. Like, is he safe? Is he not? He's obviously tanking. His health is moving up and down. But yeah, he's basically out of range. Nobody can interact with him. Without question, the strangest thing I've ever seen. And I don't even know what to say. But like out of the gate, I would say like this is totally unacceptable. Because if this happens, it means the key is over. Like, no doubt. There's no coming back from this because the player cannot be healed. They cannot be interacted with at all. And there's obviously going to be mechanics where this needs to happen. He does res, and the guy doesn't get the res either, from what I can tell. You can still see his dead corpse. Yes, his dead corpse actually does res, and it is back there. So I don't know if he got the res or if he just resed on his own and is now in the process of running back. I mean, this is utterly bizarre. But it's like almost like, can we even blame Blizzard for this? I have no idea if this is Blizzard's fault. I can't understand what's even going on right now. But obviously, if you can't see, I mean, I think the bigger problem is you can't see the tank, right? Like, being unable to heal him is unfortunate if you're the actual healer, but I think like you need to see the tank to continue. Like, if you notice in that little clip right there, the tank's to aggro the trash and nobody's even aware of it because they never saw him do it. He just all of a sudden everything's in combat. So they're doing the boss now and it's not progressed, it's not changed at all. Again, you can't see the tank, he's just not on the screen. All you can see is his spells. He's basically on his own. Maybe he's getting ground healing. If we can see the consecrate, it's possible that maybe stuff on the ground could heal him or impact him in some way. But again, it basically is impossible. You can't do this if the tank can't be interacted with. So after all this discussion, it's finally gonna like come up. The tank says, "Do you see me?" the warlock, this is absolutely hilarious to me, goes, "Use your hammer to tell us your position. We were not sure if you want to finish percentage or go boss." Like, yeah, because there's no indication of where he actually is, so there's no way to follow the tank, right? It's like a common talking point. Just follow the tank. How do you follow the tank if he's invisible? The priest says, "Try to ready check for each boss," I guess. Like, they're trying to play like some weird new version of WoW where like you have to use clues to indicate what your intentions are since they can't see his actual character. Now he's actually going to go offline here at this point. So you see his character actually disappear, and now at this point he's just nowhere. He comes back online and he's just not anywhere. Like, they're looking for him, they can't find him. It's like he's again now a full ghost. Like, now he's not even in the dungeon, his character's not there anymore. They're trying to summon him. Like, I don't know where he actually thinks he is physically, but now his character's not even in that spot. Eventually, he opens the map. You see they're hovering over him. He is at the first boss now. So he like logs out, stays offline for a few seconds, comes back, and instead of being in either of the spots he was in or at the res point where he should be dead and found, he's actually outside the dungeon, and he's now back in the instance after apparently like being outside and coming back in. Now at this point, you could see him move. You can see his characters actually interacting with the game world that everybody else is playing, and they are going to summon him. And oh my god, he's here now. In order to fix this, apparently he just needed to leave the dungeon one way or the other. Like however he did that, I don't know if it's due to him logging out. I don't know if it has anything to do with any of the actions we showed in this video. So I guess if you do ever see this occur, the TLDR is just leave the instance and come back. I have no words for it. It is without question the most like actual disruptive bug I've ever seen over something totally normal. Like it's one thing, the bug we showed where I'm basically like glitching out a fight with a character that's AFK. That is not even that surprising that it happened, because obviously like Blizzard didn't design the fight to be done with somebody AFK on the platform, not attacking. But this is a DC. This is totally normal DC in the middle of a Mythic Plus, and they can simply come back and continue. So yeah, definitely the weirdest bug I've ever seen. I mean, I've been playing the game for 20 years. It's not always just Mythic Plus, you know, I've seen all manner of things, but I've never seen somebody disconnect and then like their character simply be like desynced from everybody else's physical location. And I do think this has to be the worst possible like theoretical bug that could exist. If you're able to play the game and other people are not able to interact with you, but you're in the same group as them and you're doing timed dungeons together, how is it possible that you can succeed? I have no idea. Let me know if you guys have ever seen this. This was just a small one. We got a lot more coming, so stay tuned. And if you're out there running, especially like low keys or just like anything that's causing funny moments, any hilarity, please let me know. Hit that record button, send them in. We got some crazy moments already this season, but there's still some time to get even crazier moments. So thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next one.